I just thought I'd do a quick video, back from a dog walk. Unfortunately, the dog is collapsed in the back. You can just sort of see the outline of her there. But, you know, killing two birds with one stone, and I just wanted to do a very quick video about why traditional sales training doesn't always work. Now, the first reason is that there's absolutely no accountability. So generally learners learn about, you know, or memorize or pick up about 20% of what's been learnt within a singular session. But then they go out into the world, go out back into their jobs, and nobody reinforces or checks that they're actually implementing the skills that they're doing or that they've learned. So before long, they're back to doing the same old stuff. So it becomes almost a pointless exercise doing a singular one session training session in that vein. Secondly, traditional sales training is very skills focused. It doesn't tend to look at anything else, it just looks at skills. And unfortunately, when only teaching skills, if the underlying processes or indeed the correct leadership structures aren't in place, then unfortunately those skills will never really be able to be put into effect as effectively as possible. And that leads me into the third reason, and that's also that traditional sales training is generally very traditionalist. So there's very limited scope to be able to pick up specific things that are specific to a particular industry and focus on that in any great depth in a singular training session. Now, the fourth reason is that sales training is traditionally, well, not even traditionally, is generally extremely expensive. So, you know, if you're doing it as a day, you know, it's usually upwards of £300 to £350 an hour for traditional sales training. And then leading on to that, there's very limited scope. So this is the fifth reason, very limited scope to actually map the return on investment. So it's very difficult to say whether there is actually a return on any investment for traditional sales training methods. And that leads me on to the sixth reason. And the reason you can't map any return on investment is because there's no benchmarks set. So somebody comes in, they do a traditional session over a day or a half day or whatever it is, but nobody sets a benchmark for where the team is at the start and then helps them get to where they want to be by the end of it. That's why I created my Sales Acceleration Program. It's a mixture of consultancy and also training. So it makes sure that it gives a really wide scope for training, looking at every single level of the sales function. And benchmarks are set. So we know where the sales team is at the start. We know where we want them to be during the course, and we measure it going through. And then on top of that, with the training that we do, we also catch up weekly to make sure that everything is bespoke and everything is being implemented that's being learnt. So yeah, I just wanted to do that video, killing two birds with one stone. It's a bit long, but hopefully I've kept you to the end. And in the meantime, well, she's too sleepy, so say goodbye, Liger. Oh, she's looking. Yeah, there we are. Right, see you later.